My name is Rugie Tarawalie, and I've been working with Cause Canada like for 9 years now. Since 2009, February 14, I've been working with the organization. And everything I've learned in Cause Canada, it's like extremely good. It has motivated me a lot to stay in Cause Canada this long, because everything they do is about education. And one of the main things why I love working with Cause, and I'm up to this time staying in Cause, is because they work with women, they work with young girls, they work with children. And my dream, my focus have been to work especially with young girls and children.
What do you think is the greatest barrier to lifting Sierra Leone out of poverty?
The greatest barrier, of course, it's education. You know, we have so many constraints, like children want to go to school, but they don't have school fees. They don't have someone that can pay their school fees. They want to go to school. They don't have someone that can provide for them uniform, learning materials. So education, we have a lot of barriers towards education. Because education, for one, if you have education, if you're educated, you can be able to help others. You can be able to help yourself. But they want to go to school. Kids want to go to school. Young girls want to go to school. But they are having these barriers that are stopping them from going to school. So this is a real problem. And for example, our government in Sierra Leone, when they talk about free education in Sierra Leone, you look at it as if it's free, but it's not free. When you go to the school, then you know that there's nothing free. When they talk about free education, it's not free at all, because they don't provide uniform for these kids. You might say that, why can't the parents provide uniform? Because they don't have it. Simply a parent might have 4 or 5 or 6 children, you know, and they cannot even take care of themselves properly. When they break, all they think about is how to go to the farm, and all they can get from that farm is maybe to help 1 or 2 child. They cannot be able to provide for all the children.
So why do they have so many children?
Our culture is different here. For example, there is a tradition to the Muslim areas. You cannot take contraceptive, you know, like maybe how to plan yourself for you not to have many children. For them, it's like a taboo. It's like an abomination. Currently, what is happening, if your husband knows that you are taking this contraceptive to stop you from having children, then you are in trouble. You know, they'll call you so many names. They'll think like you want to deceive your husband, or maybe you're seeing another man. They have this perception that is really not good, especially in terms of women. So that is why they are having so many children. You can go to a home, they have like 10, 11 children. They don't know, you know, they cannot take care of all of those kids. And the kids want to go to school. They really have the willing power to go to school. They really want to go to school. But because their parents, they are many to their parents cannot afford all of those things. They simply cannot go to school.
Well, let's go check a school out and see these kids happy in school.
Exactly. Let us go and you will see for yourself.
Great. You mentioned that a lot of students are really desire to go to school and have that determination. But I've also noticed that there are quite a few students who aren't attending school and who are at home during the day. Can you explain this phenomenon a little bit?
Yeah, you're right. You know, like some kids want to go to school, and some kids, when they go to school, like after school, you know, their parents are engaged in this farming. They have different type of farming. And some parents, because they don't have money to pay people, like to pay laborers to go and do their work for them in the farm, they will just move their kids from school to help them in the farm. So like a child will help the parents in the farm, and whatever they get in the farm, you can see also the parents will say, go out there and sell for me so that you can help me at home, like raising your other younger ones or supporting the younger ones. So like 99% of whatever thing is happening in the home, it's all geared towards what the woman can do. It's everything, you know, like the women are taking all these responsibilities.
So the children are meant to help the mother in the house.
Of course, they are meant to help the mother in the house. That's how they are seeing it. So like, for example, they will say, no, you don't go to school today, you help me in the house. Take care of your younger one, or help me in the farm. Or go out there and sell so that we can help raise the other kids.
So you see kids in the market selling? doing the laundry, cooking.
Exactly, cooking. Yeah, you will see a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, they can cook, they can launder, they can go and fetch water. It's like they don't have option. That's what sometimes they can do.
And how are children affected when they're not able to go to school, particularly around the girl child?
When they are not able to go to school, for example, you will see a 14-year-old pregnant, a 12-year-old pregnant in Sierra Leone. It's very, very disheartening, you know. Because they are not able to go to school, their parents will send them on early marriage. Like, especially we have certain tribes here, I will not mention their name, but like, they don't believe mainly in education. So when their child is like 11 or 13 years old, they'll say, or 15 most, they'll say, well, before you go to school and get pregnant, we'll send you to early marriage. So they'll send them in early marriage, and like these girls, when they're in that home, they got pregnant, and all of a sudden the poverty starts again.
Right.
Some of these men that they're sending them to already have another wife. Already have another wife, so you find out that actually there is a lot of disheartening things. Yes, a lot of disheartening things that is happening. That the girls want to go to school, but it's not their wish.
And what is CAUSE doing to help and to intervene with this?
CAUSE is doing like extremely well. For example, CAUSE is bringing different programs in how to help to stop early marriage, teenage pregnancy, how to send these girls so that they can be able to further their education. For example, the sponsorship program, the peer literacy program. The peer literacy program, it's like a program where girls, peer-to-peer, they can come to the CAUSE Canada office. CAUSE give them a training how to sound the alphabet, and in turn they will go to this school to help teach the younger ones the sound of the alphabet, because that's another constraint. You know, and in turn, CAUSE will provide a uniform for them, shoes, you know, learning materials, and so many other things. So like, CAUSE is helping in that area. CAUSE is also helping with the bursary program. The bursary program is where you help young girls, you know, from high school onto university. So CAUSE is helping how to tackle all this. Also, CAUSE is also helping in terms of Mothers Club. We form Mothers Club in different communities.
And sorry, what is a Mothers Club?
A Mothers Club is like a set of women in a particular community wherein there are like 20, 30 of them. They will come together to fight teenage pregnancy in the community. They will stand strong to fight early marriage, to fight all of these things that are disturbing the children's education.
And what do they do exactly to fight these pregnancies and this early marriage?
We train them first, tell them their roles and responsibility. We try to show them their roles and responsibility, empower them, CAUSE give them grants. You know, like out of these grants, they can be selling.
Okay. My name is Juliette C. Conte, Deputy Headmistress, DCC Farugu. I'm the chairperson for Mothers Club, DCC Farugu.
And what has been your involvement with CAUSE Canada?
Well, my own involvement with CAUSE Canada, since I've been trained as a Mothers Club, they give us a startup kit of 500,000. That is the money we are revolving to help the school in some certain areas that we find out that the school is going in terms of broken off benches. We repair broken off benches, we make soap, we distribute to the teachers, we help the community teachers to pay their staff.
Oh, great. You help pay the stipends.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. And have you grown that money?
Yes, we've grown with that money. We have 3 million plus now.
Wow. So you started from 500,000. That's wonderful.
So that they gave us the training how to revolve this money. Out of that training, now we are proud of getting 3 million plus. And that money at the end of every month will come with the interest. Then that interest we distribute to another group of people. That is the way we are revolving the money. Then when we find out that something is not enough in the school, we buy like the wash facilities, we buy those things, we distribute by classes.
And they will be able, for example, if we have a vulnerable girl in the school, they will be able to come in. If the girl cannot have the parents cannot provide a uniform, some of the mothers club, at least they will be able to buy a pair of uniform to give to that child. And for example, if there is an early marriage case in a particular community, the mothers club will go to the chief to make sure that they abort or they terminate that particular early marriage. And if the community people refuse to listen to the mothers club, they can come to the family support unit. They call them the FSU. They are responsible to take care of all this because the government is against it, but it's happening. So the mothers club will channel their case. We empower them so much that they know how to channel their case. They know how to make sure that they abort these things that are barriers towards education in their communities. So CAUSE is helping in these things. CAUSE has so many other things. When you come to the school, of course we are now in the school, you will see what I'm trying to tell you about.
All right, let's go and check it out. All right, Rugie, where are we?
We are in WCSL, that's the Wesleyan School, and this is one of CAUSE Canada sponsored schools. This school has been with CAUSE Canada for several years now, and they're benefiting from all the things CAUSE is helping.
Great, and it seems like all the kids here have uniforms. Can you speak a little bit to that, please?
Yes. If you can see Sierra Leone, the school here, it's very different. If a child does not have a uniform, the child will not come to school.
Is that the law?
Yeah, it's a law. Every child must wear a uniform. So this is one of the big challenges. Some kids do not have a uniform to come to school. And if they don't have uniform to come to school, they don't come to school.
What's another barrier that you've seen and noticed on the programmatic side for CAUSE kids?
One of the barriers also is the teachers stipend. Most of the teachers here in this school is over 800 students. And most of the teachers here, they are community teachers, which means government is not paying them. So if government is not paying them, sometimes they do request from the parents to give them a small amount, and the parents cannot afford that.
Even though the government said the primary school is supposed to be free?
Exactly. That's why I told you, when they talk about free education, in another time, there is nothing like free education in Sierra Leone. Because the government do say free education. But because we have so many community teachers, the teachers will start asking for money from those parents. And not all the parents can afford the money to pay. So they will drive most of the kids home.
So that's another barrier.
That's another barrier.
So it's starting to make sense to keep your kids at home and help you farm and help you make money for the 1 or 2 children who have a true chance, but not for every child.
You're right. Most of these kids, when they send them home because of that, they call it community teacher stipend. When they send them home, some parents are just frustrated. They'll say, okay, you know what, I'm tired with this. Just come home and help me do whatever work they have.
Make ends meet.
Yeah, make ends meet. So they will keep the children at home before ever sending them to school.
All right, say hi. Touché. An important part of any project is the monitoring. What are some challenges that you face in the monitoring of CAUSE Kids programs?
Well, one of our main challenges whenever we are doing our monitoring in these communities is the weather condition. Sierra Leone, we have 6 months. We are in the rainy season, 6 solid months. It's and also the terrain, the road condition. We have poor road networks. How to access these communities is very, very bad. And motorbike is another problem. We need to have strong motorbikes to access this community. If you don't have strong motorbikes, then you are in trouble because the roads are poor, and the weather condition. So your motorbike, you need to guarantee your motorbike before you go into these villages.
So right now we're in a local neighborhood of Kabala, which is the city that Cause Canada bases its office out of. But truly our mandate is to work in the rural villages. So anywhere from 5 miles to 20 miles away from Kabala are where our beneficiaries are, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. And also, yes, we are looking at those villages just as you mentioned, but we are also working here because you will be surprised that some of these kids living in these communities, they are suffering similarly just like those in the communities, those in the far to rich areas, simply because their parents are also poor. Their parents are also, they cannot also afford the cost of living. They are just fortunate to be here. Some of them, their grandparents, they're staying in their grandparents' house. So that is why they're staying here. But they are also facing the same challenges those in the villages are facing. If you go to the villages right now, this rainy season, we have villages where COS is operating. For example, currently as we are about to prepare report cards for the sponsor, taking photos from for the sponsored kids to send it to their sponsor, you notice that some of these kids, because of the rainy season, they cannot come to school. Their villages are far away from the school, and sometimes they use the local boats before ever they can cross to access their
Wow.
school. Yeah. So all this constraint, and our staff, it's very, very difficult for our staff to access their places.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is why we sometimes take long to prepare all this report card and take their photos.
Well, as we walk up to this guest house where Cause Canada staff stay when they're in Sierra Leone, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, maybe I would like to say this in Creole.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, I want to say plenty thank you to the donor them. Because of una support, make Cause Canada don't able for reach this particular goal where we did. So una continue for support Cause Canada, and una picking them again want for tell una plenty thank you. They picking them where una don't help. They make great impact in the community. So if una continue for help, then Cause Canada go able for reach boku picking them where then at the villages them where be say they want for go school but they not get the opportunity for go school. So on behalf of Cause Kids staff and all the picking them who not on sponsor, we want to say plenty thank you to all the sponsors.